Hello, everyone. We're right at the top of the hour. A very warm welcome to our webinar, MQTT.fx on HiveMQ Cloud. Testing MQTT in the cloud is now easier than ever. It is a pleasure to have you all. Today's webinar is a joint session by HiveMQ and Softblade. We would like to take this opportunity to share that Softblade is our official technology partner now. A very warm welcome to HiveMQ partner community, Softblade. And I'm also happy to introduce you all to our speakers for today, Magi Erber, who is the product manager at HiveMQ, Jan Stetters, who is the founder and CEO of Softblade, and Nico Blaterman, who is the CEO of Softblade. Welcome, all three of you. And before we get started, I would like to let you all know that we are recording this session and all participants will be on mute. If you have any questions during the presentation, feel free to type them into the Q&A box in the control panel below. We will answer them during the Q&A session at the end of the webinar. If we cannot answer them all now, we will answer them on our HiveMQ community forum. And during Q&A, we'll be running a poll. We request you all to complete the online poll and provide feedback. So a very warm welcome to everyone. Now, without further ado, I will hand it over to Magi. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you so much. So also a warm welcome from my side, and thank you also for the introduction, Terry. It's awesome to have you all here. Just a short agenda for today. I won't go through it in detail. You will see it, but today's webinar is really about MQTT.fx on HiveMQ Cloud and how to get started with it easily. Okay, so you already had a short introduction of the speakers for today, and I also have the honor to introduce you to HiveMQ, and that is the company behind HiveMQ Cloud. HiveMQ is an IoT company based near Munich and was founded in 2012, and we help our customers to move data to and also from connected devices in a very, very, very efficient, fast and reliable manner. So for us, it is really important that we make you as our customers very successful. So we have over 130 customers with IoT use cases in production. There are a lot of customers from many different industries, including telecommunications, transportation, also manufacturing, and of course, automotive. So we help our customers in creating more efficient operations and improve their customer experience for their customers here. And with that, I'm happy to hand over to Nico from our friends at Softblade to introduce Softblade.
Thanks, Maggie. Welcome to all participants from my side too. So it's really cool to see that we have so many attendees here. So just a few words about Softblade. Next slide, Maggie. Softblade was founded initially by Jan Stetters, who is the creator and designer of MQTT.fx and the main developer. When Softblade was founded, Claudia and me joined too as co-founder because our idea was to bring MQTT.fx to the next level. And it's logical that one person like Jens cannot do all the stuff alone. And so for the boring stuff like marketing and sales, Claudia and me are on board. Some facts about Softblade. We have been founded in August 2020, so brand new company, like you say. Major focus is developing MQTT.fx. Also other IoT projects are coming. We will bring you all the news on our website or on Twitter. And the cool news are we are official HiveMQ partner since this year. And the even better news for you guys is this: we will announce today and show you today the brand new edition of MQTT.fx with HiveMQ branding, special edition for HiveMQ users. You can use it completely for free. You won't have a registration process on our site, all this annoying stuff. You just get a download link. You can download it after the presentation and use it. And it will work with HiveMQ only. and has some nice features for HiveMQ projects, which Jens will show you afterwards. And yeah, if you want to have more information about Softblade, just visit us on our site, softblade.de. And yeah, thank you all for attending, and thanks to Maggie, and I hand back to you.
Thank you. So before we dive deeper into how MQTT.fx and HiveMQ Cloud work together, I'd like to start with typical IoT challenges that we see our customers have. And I'd like to start with scalability. So we see that it's a common problem in the IoT world that with common IT infrastructure, that millions of devices are hard to connect concurrently. So common IT infrastructure has there some challenges. And that also brings us to the next step, bringing the data from millions of IoT devices into already existing enterprise systems is also some challenge. So together with the high scalability, that is really something where we see that enterprise IT infrastructure is not really suitable for IoT. And on the other side, end users are really used to have an instant user experience. So if you think about WhatsApp, for example, you're really used to get the message in the second that your friend wrote the message. So end users are really spoiled here. And the same is for IoT use cases. So you want to have the data in the same moment the other part is sending the data. And that is even more important for critical systems. So real-time communication around the globe is here, is kind of here the challenge that you also have to solve. And in combination with scale, huge problem. And last but not least, and just before the webinar, we talked about it. Reliable networks are not everywhere the case. So especially for business critical systems, it's so important that you have systems that can work with unreliable networks, that can also work with unstable internet connection or with flaky connections, especially if you combine it with moving devices. So, for example, like a car or a train. And everyone who ever traveled with the train here in Germany knows that there are some parts that do not have an internet connection at all. So if I travel from Landshut, where HiveMQ is based, to Munich, there is a spot around about 10 minutes where you do not have any internet connection at all. And that's kind of everywhere in the world. You have the spots where you do not have an internet connection, and you need a system that can handle this. So unreliable networks are really a problem, especially in the IoT world. So, and that brings us to one statement I really like. So we need open standards that are designed for the Internet of Things. Open standards are important because then we have kind of something that we can rely on. And it's important that it is for the Internet of Things, because we have different challenges for the Internet of Things than for the internet we use as human beings. And the open standard for the Internet of Things that MQTT.fx is relying on, and that also HiveMQ Cloud is relying on, is MQTT. And for those who are new to MQTT, I give you a short introduction about what is MQTT. So MQTT is the IoT messaging protocol. It's based on HTTP, and it was initially created for extreme scale and instant data exchange. and that is also the case until now. So extreme scale, instant data exchange combined with it works with unreliable networks. That is basically MQTT. It is a publish subscribe based architecture, which means you decouple sender and receiver of messages from each other, and we will see that also in the next slide. And it makes everything easy on the device side, so on the client, the constrained device side here, and pushes all the implementation complexity to the server that is in the middle of the communication. It was originally built for machines and constrained devices that have not really much power, that are low on computing power and memory, and that need something that they can easily work with and do not use a lot of power here. And it was designed for reliable communication over unreliable channels. So that is also one important thing here. So as promised, I show you how the publish subscribe here works. So oh, sorry, I just realized that I said it's based on HTTP. It's not based on HTTP. It's based on TCP/IP, like HTTP. Sorry for the confusion here. So here you see the architecture, how the publish subscribe architecture works. You have in the middle the MQTT broker, which is kind of the server side, and that takes over the communication and handles all the connections to the clients that are outside. The clients here are the publishers and subscribers that are decoupled from another. So they do not have a direct connection to each other. They're all connected to the broker in the middle and publish their data to the broker. The broker handles the connection to all the subscribers that are interested in the data from the original publisher here. So that makes it really, really good if you are in a scenario where you do have unreliable networks. So if one subscriber, for example, is in an area where it has no internet connection, no problem at all, the broker will keep the message until the subscriber is online again, and then the message is pushed to the subscriber here. So that is basically the foundation where HiveMQ and MQTT, MQTT.fx is based on. So what are typical use cases of MQTT? And to say it in really general words here, typical use case is if you have push communication. MQTT is just a push communication. Typical use case is everything that needs a reliable communication over unreliable networks. That is typically for MQTT. MQTT is also very, very suitable if you have constrained devices and low bandwidth and high latency. So because it was originally built for constrained devices that are low on computing power and low memory, etc. And it's also suitable if you want to create something like an industrial message bus. So HiveMQ itself as company also has a product that's called HiveMQ. HiveMQ is an enterprise MQTT platform, and what we are in a nutshell is an MQTT broker. But it's not just an MQTT broker, it's more than an MQTT broker. HiveMQ as MQTT broker is compatible to the full MQTT standard, and there it is combined to the MQTT 3 and 5 versions. And you can also connect MQTT 3 and 5 clients at the same time at the same broker, and they can communicate with each other. You can run HiveMQ on any platform that you'd like, so on any cloud, on-premise, in your data center, where you like it. So HiveMQ is here very, very flexible. And the good thing about HiveMQ is that it has a so-called extension SDK that allows you to nearly integrate it with any other enterprise system that you'd like, and also adapt adapt the MQTT flow to your use case here. So, and with this, I hand over to you. I think Jens.
Yes, I will give you a short introduction into MQTT.fx just before to get hands-on MQTT.fx together with HiveMQ Cloud. So you can think of MQTT.fx basically as a UI tool, which is a handy front end for the HiveMQ MQTT Client framework. I started developing MQTT.fx in 2014, and during the years it got more and more feature complete, and since last year, mid of last year, we founded Softblade to support MQTT.fx, as Nico said, on another level. Some of the highlights of MQTT.fx is you have payload decoders based on the MIME type of the message. So if a message is received, MQTT.fx will look up, in case of MQTT version 5, which has support for MIME types. It will look up for the right decoder to decode the message in the right way to show it in a readable format. MQTT.fx provides installation packages for all platforms, for Windows, for macOS, and Linux. So it feels like a common desktop tool, and to make it more comfortable to use it. So MQTT.fx is based on Java, but in the end, it might not really feel like a Java application because it comes with an UI installer. The runtime environment is also provided by the installer, so there's no preconditions like you have to install a system-wide Java runtime environment or something. So it really just feels like a desktop application. And as Nico already spoiled, we have a new, brand new edition of MQTT.fx, the MQTT.fx HiveMQ Cloud edition, which makes it more comfortable and easy to get started with HiveMQ Cloud. Yeah, but we will show this later on during the demo.
Yeah, thank you. So the next part of this webinar is how to get started with MQTT. And before we switch over to the demonstration, just a few words about what you will see now. So we will use HiveMQ Cloud and the HiveMQ Cloud edition of MQTT.fx to kind of spin up a cluster here, connect the client. You see publish and subscribe, etc. What you can do and what you can see actually with the client, and that is what you will see here. A few words about HiveMQ Cloud, because I haven't said that yet. HiveMQ Cloud is our fully managed MQTT messaging and connectivity platform in the cloud with third-party integrations. So that is basically our software as a service offering that is built for production, highly available, is also completely compliant to the MQTT specification, and has a few cool things inside, depending on the plan that you have, of course. So the main idea behind it was that HiveMQ Cloud brings us to the next level here, and the next level is cloud native IoT messaging. So it's really a connectivity layer between the things that are out there in the internet and other cloud vendors, third-party services, your backend infrastructure and services. So that is basically HiveMQ Cloud, the connectivity layer here that integrates easily with any other service. Okay, depending on the plan, we have just 2 words about it. We have 2 different kind of types. The first 3 plans are here, the self-service plan. The last one is the dedicated, which is a completely custom solution where we can do anything. But yeah, just to have it said here. Okay, so then I would say let's move over to HiveMQ Cloud and yes, go further. And first of all, yeah, I'd like to show you how easy it is to yeah, get started. Sign up with my GitHub account, agree to the terms of service, and I'm in HiveMQ Cloud. And of course, I need to personalize my account here a little bit and enter here my phone number. Okay, and then HiveMQ Cloud asks me on which cloud provider I'd want to have the cluster. And in this case, I choose Azure. It's really just how you like it. And in a few seconds, you will get your first cluster, and there it is. HiveMQ Cloud comes with a predefined getting started guide that guides you through how to get started. And here at this point, first you have to do is enter your credentials to secure the communication between your devices and HiveMQ Cloud. HiveMQ Cloud only allows authenticated communication, and the communication flow is also secured via TLS. So here that security is really important to us. And at this point, HiveMQ Cloud is set up, and I will hand over to Jens. So Jens, you're on mute.
So now we're talking. So I've also already set up my free HiveMQ Cloud cluster, and to give it a try and to connect to the cluster, I will use MQTT.fx here. So this is the MQTT.fx HiveMQ Cloud edition. And one of the basic feature of MQTT.fx is the so-called connection profiles. With the connection profiles, you can use different broker connection setups and broker connections. And there's a special connection profile for HiveMQ Cloud, which makes it very easy to connect, because you just need to enter the necessary parameter here. So basically the broker address and the connect credentials. What you will need as a broker address here is the endpoint of the MQTT broker in the HiveMQ Cloud. So basically the host name. So I will copy this to here. I will generate a unique client ID, and I will use my already created credentials. And I will choose MQTT version 5 for the connection. So now I'm ready to connect. And now I'm connected to the HiveMQ Cloud. So in the info bar at the top, you see the version which is used to connect is MQTT 5. It's a secured connection, which is showed by the locked lock sign here. And the green bubble shows we are successfully connected to the HiveMQ Cloud. And now MQTT.fx provides some tabs. The first tab is the Publish tab, which allows us to publish messages. We have a Subscribe tab here. Yeah, to subscribe to topics and to get to display the received messages. And there's also a Log tab, which shows you the log history for a better overview and some debugging possibilities. What's features by MQTT.fx is to detach these kind of tabs by just drag and drop it out of MQTT.fx, so that we are able to see the subscribe and the publish window in parallel. So let me subscribe, for instance, to HiveMQ demo as a demo topic. Subscribe, so we are subscribed. No messages yet. And once you're subscribed, all the subscribed topics are also available in the drop-down here, so you don't have to re-enter it. Yeah, then let me send a demo message. Hello, MQTT, and publish. And now it's received in the subscribe window, in the received window. And down here, this is the payload of the message, and some meta parameters like quality of service and receive time. The content type of the message is text plain, and for the decoding of the message, I recently also mentioned the payload decoder. The plain text decoder is used here. And to give you an impression how the payload decoder are working, I will send a second message like this. So this is basically a JSON object, but it's pretty much unformatted, so it's very hard to read. On the client side, which is publishing the JSON, but I want MQTT.fx to decode the JSON message into a prettier format, to make it more readable. So I'm choosing content type application JSON here, and publish the message. And this is the second message which is received here. And as you can see down here, application JSON is recognized as a content type, and the payload decoder is automatically chosen to decode and format the message, in this case, the JSON message, in a more readable format. And if you close the untouched window or the tab here, if you close it, it will instantly get back to where it was placed before. Okay, so far the demo of the HiveMQ Cloud Edition.
So, okay, great. Just a few words about HiveMQ Cloud. Again, what you've seen here is the usage of the free plan. that is a free to get started, free to use plan in HiveMQ Cloud. And that lets you connect up to 100 MQTT client sessions and 10 GB of data traffic. This is now also includes a new feature that you can see how many of your limits you already have used up. This needs some time to be refreshed, but you see kind of your current usage. And if that one, for whatever reason, is not enough for you and you need something that scales with your needs, just upgrade the cluster. It's pretty straightforward. Enter your billing details, upgrade the cluster, and you're on the pay-as-you-go plan that allows you 1,000 client connections and 100 GB of data usage. Okay, so with this, I hand over back to you, Jayashri.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was a very cool demo. Thanks, Maggie. Thanks, Jens. Thanks, Nico. Okay, we will be moving on to Q&A. Parallel to Q&A, there will be a poll running. I request you all to participate. Just give me a minute. Okay. So the first question, it's from Oscar. He's asking what is the minimum number of devices to operate on HiveMQ? I believe this question is for Maggie.
Yes. Okay, so the minimum number of clients that you need to operate on HiveMQ. So you can run HiveMQ without any client, and you can start with 1, 2, 3. So HiveMQ really it gives you all the freedom here. So if you want to operate it with 1 client, do it. If you want to operate it with thousands of clients, do it. If you want to operate it with 100,000 of clients or millions of clients, do it. So you're really completely free, starting from actually 0 to millions of devices. So no limitation here. And the limits in the free and in the pay-as-you-go plan, I am actually just show you. For the different plans, you have, of course, different limitations for the upper number, but the minimum is get started with how many you'd like to get started.
Cool, thank you. So there's one more question on HiveMQ. Jan is asking, could we choose our region, North America or Canada? I think he's looking for that region to deploy HiveMQ.
Okay, so we have to differentiate here a little bit. We have the self-hosted solution that you can run everywhere you'd like to run it on, and HiveMQ Cloud as a product. And here for HiveMQ Cloud, we also have 2 different kind of options: the self-service and the dedicated, completely customizable part. For the self-service part, at the moment, we have just 1 location. Multiple are here on the roadmap and will come in the next time. For the dedicated solution, so the completely customizable solution, there we are open to deploy it anywhere, and North America, Canada is no problem for us. So we are free and happy to talk with you about this.
Thank you. Thanks, Maggie. John is asking, is there a payload decoder for Sparkplug-B? I believe this is for MQTT.fx.
Yes, I think so. Yes, it is. So there's a built-in decoder for Sparkplug-B messages. And to spoiler, one of the next releases of MQTT.fx, I'm also working on a Sparkplug message editor for creating and sending and publishing Sparkplug messages. So a UI-based editor for Sparkplug messages.
Yeah, thanks, Jan. There is a question from Nico. Can you create triggers on incoming messages to react with publishing predefined messages? I think this question is for MQTT.fx again.
So setting a trigger point to react on messages, it's not possible in MQTT.fx. So MQTT.fx basically is meant to be a handy, easy to use tool for testing MQTT connections and to publish and receive messages. But it's not that complex tool to create scenarios or this kind of workflow, I think, which is meant here. So to react on a certain message as a trigger. Maybe this is a task for HiveMQ Swarm, Maggie?
Maybe. Have to take that with me and talk with the team. So I'm sorry, I'm not responsible for HiveMQ Swarm.
Okay.
So Nico has a follow-up question. Can you also broker files, example, transfer PDF to binary and transfer back to PDF once received?
With MQTT.fx also, maybe?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. No. So you can, for sure, you can transfer binary files, but there's not this kind of conversion right now supported. So in this case, I would think about a custom payload encoder and decoder to be chosen when sending and receiving messages. But this is not implemented yet.
Yeah, but we have an interface where you can create your own custom encryptions and decryptions. So it would be easy to do this, I guess, like 30 minutes for an experienced developer.
Thanks, Nico. Jens. There is one interesting question. This is for MQTT.fx. What are the main differences between the normal MQTT.fx version and the HiveMQ Cloud version?
So the main difference is that the HiveMQ Cloud version is limited for HiveMQ Cloud connections only. So it's just supporting URLs to connect to HiveMQ Cloud endpoints. With the full version of MQTT.fx, you are free to connect to any broker, and you have a bunch more, much more connection parameters, like choosing your own security certificates for the connection, and also stuff like passing a HTTP proxy, and last will and testament also. So yeah, all this is set and parameterized within the connection profile, and it's saved then or stored then to be used for your broker connections.
Yeah, and of course you need a license for the full version of MQTT.fx, and you need no register process, no license. It's completely free to use for HiveMQ setup. All you need is your HiveMQ login data, like Jens showed in the demo, but you don't need anything else. So you just can download it, install it, and it will work with HiveMQ.
But except for the restriction to just connect to the HiveMQ Cloud, MQTT.fx HiveMQ Cloud Edition is a full features MQTT version for in terms of receiving messages, publishing messages, and so on.
Thanks, Jens. There is one more question. Can HiveMQ.fx access databases? I think there is one more question. Is it possible to log the received data in CSV or other format?
It's not instantly, all the received messages are not instantly written into a database or a CSV file, but you can export the received messages from the buffer to a file.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Okay. There's one more question. Does the storage capacity roll over once you reach the maximum, or is it a hard limit? I think this question is for HiveMQ Cloud.
Yes, I think so as well. So you have a limit here for the free usage and also for the pay-as-you-go plan. You have certain limits that are monthly limits. So as soon as you reach the limit, that is a hard limit, but it will roll over at the beginning of the next month. So you have a monthly limit of, I think, 100 client connections for the free plan and 10 gigabyte of data traffic for the free plan. You can use that up within 1 month. And if you have reached your limit, either upgrade to pay as you go or wait until the next month. And then you start from zero again.
Okay. So thanks, Maggie. I think there was a question regarding this. Do the clients stay connected if you upgrade the cluster from free to pay-as-you-go plan?
Yes, yes, clients stay connected, of course. And also maybe important, so in combination with the limits here, of course, if you upgrade from free to pay-as-you-go, you will start with pay-as-you-go at 0. So you do not have to pay for the usage that you had before. You start here if you upgrade with 0.
Cool. There's one more question for HiveMQ Cloud. Which authentication methods are supported in HiveMQ Cloud?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so as I said during the demonstration, HiveMQ secures the communication via TLS, and clients need to be authenticated with username and password. So that is the current authentication that we use for HiveMQ Cloud. There are a few more authentication methods on the roadmap, and yeah, will be available in the next time. But for now, username and password.
Cool. Thanks, Maggie. So Alok is asking, I believe this supports 5G as well. I think he's asking if HiveMQ Cloud supports 5G. I'm not sure about the context.
I'm also not sure about the context here. Maybe, I think that was Alok that was asking the question. So I'm happy to discuss this and go deeper into details. Reach out to me and we can set up here a little bit of context and go deeper into this.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Maggie. There is one more question from Jan. We are using Elastic. Is there an existing HiveMQ connector?
Okay, so HiveMQ itself has a lot of extensions and plugins that are available. Some are also open source, so have a look in our GitHub repository. There are a lot of stuff. Actually, I'm not quite sure if there's already something for the Elk stack, but I know that our customers are integrating with the Elk stack quite good. So if you need help there, reach out to us. We are very, very happy to help here. For HiveMQ Cloud, to answer it completely, there's at the moment no out-of-the-box connector to Elastic. So I'm also here happy to discuss this a little bit more in detail. So reach out to me and have a short discussion about it. I'm really, really keen on learning anything here.
Thanks, Maggie. So there's one interesting question. It's from Bob. I need an Arduino example using PubSub client to access MQTT Cloud. How about a decoder for Arduino?
So this one kind of is for both of us, I think. So I take that with me. Arduino example would be good for you to get started. So as you have seen, HiveMQ Cloud has this getting started guide for a lot of MQTT clients already built in. So for client libraries, but also tools. And an Arduino example would be something that would pretty well fit into the getting started here. So thanks for the input. But the other thing is about the decoder, and I think that is more for you.
Yeah, so first of all, we will develop more decoders from now on. So just take a look on the new decoders we will release. In the meantime, we have an interface. You can also use the interface to develop your own decoders, right, Jens, with a plugin interface?
Yeah, there's a plugin extension to add your custom decoders. And it's also very good, I think, very good documented because everything is open source and it's available on GitHub with a lot of examples. Yeah. So basically, Arduino will just be a device sending messages, and it depends for sure which kind of messages are sent from the Arduino to be decoded. So, but I think it's a good idea to also provide an example how to a concrete example how to connect, for instance, ESP 8266 devices or Arduino or even Raspberry Pi. That's a good idea, Maggie. Yeah.
Thanks, Ian. So Bob has a follow-up question. Does the client ID ever expire when using the open HiveMQ broker?
Yes. So I guess it's about HiveMQ Cloud here again. So yes, the client ID expires. So I mean, the client session here expires. We have a data retention time of 3 days, I think. So after 3 days, any persistent connection here will expire at the broker. So if you forget to if you do not use the client connection anymore, then it will expire automatically after 3 days.
Thanks, Maggie. There's one more question for HiveMQ Cloud. When I'm on AWS, why would I want to use HiveMQ Cloud over AWS SNS?
Okay, yeah, so basically HiveMQ Cloud is a full-fledged MQTT broker. So basically, if you are in the MQTT area, then you just have to use HiveMQ Cloud because it's the best MQTT service here. So especially with the full compliance to all MQTT features, and not only the must-have features, but also the optional ones, HiveMQ Cloud is the best solution. Of course, it depends on your use case and what you want to achieve here. And I mean, that is a question that is not just easily to answer without knowing the context and the use case here.
Well, at the end of the day, all the public cloud providers providing an MQTT endpoint like Azure IoT and also AWS IoT just support the very basic protocol features just to in terms of quality of service level. And also very much more important, they don't have any support yet for MQTT5 features, which might be really interesting in terms of metadata, MIME types of the payload, session expiry dates, and also return codes. So all the nice stuff MQTT5 is providing, you are not able to use with the public cloud providers yet.
Thanks, Jens. There is a question. There's an opinion being asked asked by Karthikeyan, how MQTT important in industrial automation field like smart factory? It would be great if you can share your opinion.
Okay, so a lot of our customers are in the industrial automation area. So I think we also had a full-fledged webinar on this, and maybe it makes sense to also send the link afterwards to the participants, because there it is answered in full-fledged. But yeah, we see here more and more interest and also growing area for MQTT. And yeah, MQTT helps you to kind of also centralize the communication here within the smart factory area. But let's send the link to the webinar. I think that is best, so you have the full story here answered for this opinion or question here.
Cool. Thanks, Maggie. So there's one Sparkplug question. Do you support Sparkplug for both HiveMQ Cloud and MQTT.fx? Maybe Maggie can go first, and then Jens or Nico can go next.
Yeah, sure. So HiveMQ and HiveMQ Cloud are completely compliant to the Sparkplug B specification. So of course we support it. And I think we already had the question for MQTT.fx.
Yeah, MQTT.fx is also supporting it, especially with the also already provided Sparkplug B decoder for the received messages. And yeah, as I mentioned earlier, we are working on a UI tool to support for creating of Sparkplug B messages for publishing. So yes.
Thanks, Jens. So there is a question: which MQTT versions are supported in HiveMQ Cloud and MQTT.fx? Again, I think Maggie can go first, or Jens can go first.
Yeah, sure. So HiveMQ and HiveMQ Cloud support all MQTT versions that that are out there. So 3.1, 3.101, and MQTT 5, and you can use the different versions simultaneously at the same broker, and even clients with different versions can communicate with each other via the same HiveMQ and HiveMQ Cloud broker.
And yes, MQTT.fx also supports all the MQTT versions. Yeah, there are also some UI extensions when you're using, which are enabled when you're using MQTT 5, like the user properties, which you can edit for publishing messages, and yeah, also the MIME type and some more stuff.
Thanks, Jens. There is one question. I'm not sure. I'm not able to understand. So Pedro is asking, is there a real application in energy measurement, but industrial? I think this is in regards to MQTT. Can MQTT be applied for energy measurement? I think so.
Yes, sure, it can.
Yep.
It's yeah, I think it's pretty much the protocol to solve this this issue and to collect measurements.
Thank you. So there is one question for HiveMQ. Does HiveMQ support Wi-Fi direct so that I don't have to depend on internet?
Okay, so for HiveMQ Cloud, you unfortunately have to depend on the internet because it's reachable via the internet. For HiveMQ itself, so in the self-hosted solution, there are multiple options, and I'd say if you have a special use case here and you're not sure how to do it and how to solve it, reach out to us. We're really happy to help you here And I'm pretty sure we find a solution for any problem here. So we've always found a solution. And yeah, so HiveMQ is really flexible with anything here.
Thanks, Maggie. So Bob is looking for the Arduino example. Would it be possible to share a link with him later? Do we have the link?
Yes, so that is something that I take with me. So we do not have an Arduino example yet.
But if you're using the Arduino IDE, I think there are examples for Arduino connecting to MQTT brokers and sending messages.
Yeah.
Especially, you should have a look at the Adafruit MQTT library, which is, yeah, pretty much handy to use. And there are some examples in the Arduino IDE, I think.
Yeah, so it's about connecting Arduino with HiveMQ Cloud, and I got that that is something that we can add to our Getting Started guides. It's not there yet, but we will announce it publicly as soon as we have a Getting Started with or for Arduino here. So be a little bit patient, please. That is something that we can add for sure.
Thanks, Maggie. So there's a question for Jens and Nico. Have you thought about integrating Node-RED for automated message processing and routing? Would also allow for interfacing databases.
Not sure which role MQTT.fx should play in this context, because when you are in Node-RED, you are able to create your own MQTT connections and basically to do a lot of the stuff which you are talking about without MQTT.fx. So you won't need MQTT.fx to realize this this kind of workflow and setup. Actually, Node-RED is really handy to use for this stuff. I have a lot of experience using Node-RED for MQTT processing, and also for storing messages or data into, for instance, into time series databases like InfluxDB. This is very well supported by Node-RED nodes. And you are also very flexible in processing messages and reacting on trigger points.
Oh, thanks, Jens. There's a question. Can we use HiveMQ Cloud platform for MQTT testing?
HiveMQ Cloud platform for, was it HiveMQ Cloud or was it HiveMQ?
HiveMQ Cloud.
Okay, for testing. Yes, sure, do it, please. So HiveMQ Cloud is there for getting started, for testing, for proof of concepts, but also for production use cases, of course. But especially HiveMQ Cloud Free is there for just getting started. Test what you need to test, run a small proof of concept. So please create your account, go for it, do it.
Yeah, and if you want to have a very easy access for first steps and testing, use MQTT.fx. If you like it more complex, for instance, use Node-RED for that. It's a very great platform and tool. Or if you want to test your setups in an enterprise manner, you should have a look at HiveMQ Swarm then.
Thank you. Thanks, Jens. So we have a question on HiveMQ Cloud again regarding the free cluster. Do I keep the usage of the free cluster if I upgrade to pay-as-you-go plan?
You keep the usage. Okay, it's about upgrading the cluster from free to pay-as-you-go. No. So everything that you use up in free is free, and as soon as you upgrade to pay-as-you-go, you start from zero again. So you do not take the usage that you have used in free within the pay-as-you-go plan. So at the plan, you start at 0.
This is also for the already received data, right? So it's a complete reset, or will the buffer be available?
So do not mix it up. So the limits that you use up, or that you also then have to pay for, that is reset it to 0 completely. You start here from 0. But everything else, so messages that are currently at the broker, that are published to clients, etc., that are in queues there waiting to be published to the clients, that stay there. So there's not a
the sessions will
remain.
Will remain the upgrade process to pay-as-you-go plan. Right?
Yeah. So if you, let's say you have used up in free 100 client sessions, and some clients were not online for more than 3 days, because we have the data retention time of 3 days, and currently you have, let's say, 75 client connections, then you start at 0, and at this point you have 75 clients connected. So the limit is, or you go up to 75 at this point, and not the 100 that you had before.
So it just extends the former limits of the free version, and but the rest will remain. Also for this goes also for the user accounts and all the other stuff. So it's just extended by more client connections, and also more data which can be stored in session.
Yes, exactly.
All right. So it's time up. If there are any unanswered questions, we will answer them on HiveMQ community forum, or we'll get back to you later. So we will have to end the session now. Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks, Nico. Thanks, Jens. Thanks, Maggie. It was a great session. So hope you all enjoyed it, and see you all in our next sessions. So, ciao.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.